Should have been.
You're telling me that a woman has to go work like a man every day, and a man goes work and he's tired when he gets home. A woman's not tired. She has to clean, cook, do the dishes, do the laundry. Are you kidding?
Why don't you want to do that?
What are you talking about? Why don't I want to? You know how fucking tiring that is? Have you done that?
First of
Have you
all,
done that?
I do it every day.
fellas, do not choose a woman who don't want to be a woman.
Right.
So you don't want to
Wait,
be a
pause.
woman.
I just
No,
let
you
you
don't
talk.
want to
I
be
just
a
let you
woman.
Yelling doesn't mean you're winning an argument. It's a sign of low intelligence. You can lower your voice and speak to me. I'm sitting right here. I can hear you. So all this, I cook and I clean, and like, yeah, that's part of your function. But when your tire is flat, my function is to make sure you have a new tire.
But that's
Your
what
car
I'm
need an oil change. It's my job to make sure these people ain't ripping you off. We have different duties and functions and responsibilities. And if you don't love your duty, your function, your responsibility, you're not fit to be a wife, period.
Shalom. First, I'd like to begin this lesson by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai. Double honors be unto the apostles of Great Stone that taught me this truth, that rule well, and the elders also. Blessing and salutation to the Akim, sincere brethren, specialists with all sincerity and all truth. The brother Howard here, back here once again to do a quick edification through the Spirit of the Lord. Right. First thing I want to do, online etymology, right? And I want to look up the word woman. So it says woman, adult female, human, male, English. Woman, woman, from late English, from late Old English. Woman, literally woman, alteration of earlier wife, man, woman, female servant. Right? So this is the title that the Lord gave unto you females, right? Female servant. And it's not something that derogatory or something that we will say derogatory, but it's something that this is what the Lord ordained for a woman to be a servant, a servant unto a man. Right? This is your function and this is your role. So even if you go to work and the man go to work and he come home and he comes home and the place dirty, your function as a woman's function is to maintain the house. She cook the food. Hey, the man, likewise with the man, but the sole purpose of a woman is to be a servant unto the man. As the scripture clearly say, the wife in the book of Thessalonians, Titus chapter 3, 3 or 2. Titus chapter 3 says, but speak thou, what I forgot reads in the NRSV. Right? It says, but as for you, teach what is consistent with sound doctrine. Tell the old men to be temperate, serious, prudent, and sound in faith, in love, and in endurance. Likewise, tell the older women to reverence in behavior, not to be slanderers or slaves to drink. They are to teach what is good, so that they may encourage the young women to love their husband, to love their children. And this is a form of love, loving your husband. Right? When you cater to him, to be self-controlled, chaste, good managers of the house. And I they keep of the household, and I they keep point to trying to make it of the household. That is a woman's responsibility. Kind, be submissive to their husbands, so that the word of Yahweh, why Yahushai, right? So we just see, when we see God, we just see Yahweh and Yahushai. And we can be coming in the name of Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai. So the word of Yahweh and Yahushai may be not discredited. Likewise, urge the young men to be self-controlled. Show yourself in respect, a model of good works, and in your teaching show integrity, gravity, and sound speech that cannot be censored, that any opponent will be put to shame, having nothing evil to say of us. You see, this listening will be long. It's just to get into some points, make some points. So the next word I want to look up is lady. The word lady, it says 1200 century. Lavdi, Old English. Mistress or household wife of a lord. Apparently, literally, one who needs bread. From bread, see loaf, meal, which is related to maker of dough. Right? So the woman provide the food. Right? She provide whoever. So that's the word. That is the meaning of the word lady. As a lady, you know. It's supposed to be a lady. It's supposed to be a keeper of the house, a kneader of bread, right? Or a maker of dough, like what your foreparents used to do, right? As a matter of fact, let me get that in my mind. It's Genesis 18 and so Genesis 18 and 6, it says, and Abraham hasted into the tent. Or read from 1, it says, and Yahweh, Genesis 18 and 1, and Yahweh appeared unto him in the plain of Mamre, and he sat in the tent doors in the heat of the day, and he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent doors, and bowed himself towards the ground, and said, my Lord, if now have I found favor in thy sight, pass none away, I pray thee, from thy servant. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourself under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread, and comfort your heart, after that ye shall pass on. But therefore are ye come to your servants. And they said, so do as thou hast said. And Abraham hasted into the tent unto Sarah, and said, make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes upon the heart. So that is exactly what a woman's role and function is. Back then, Sarah, and what the scripture calls Sarah. The scripture calls Sarah. The scripture calls Sarah, right? 1 Peter 3:6. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are, as long as ye do well, and are not afraid with any amazement. You know, I could read this and all. Yeah, is it well? 1 Peter 3:1, it says, likewise, ye wives be, and I'll read this in the NRSV, my favorite. This actually became one of my favorite books, my favorite version to read. Yeah, I bounced up this version by mistake. It wasn't by mistake. What is that? 1 Peter 3. So it says, wives, in the same way accept the authority of your husbands, so that even if some of them do not obey the word, they may be won over without the word by their wives' conduct, when they see the purity and reverence of your lives. Do not adorn yourself outwardly by braiding your hair and by wearing gold ornament or fine clothing. Rather, let your adornment be the inner self, the lasting beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is very precious in God's sight. It was in this way long ago that the holy woman who hoped in power used to adorn themselves by accepting the authority of their husbands. Thus Sarah obeyed Abraham and called him Lord. You have become her daughters, as long as you do what is good and never let fear alarm you. That I give all praises, honor and glory to Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai.